The purpose of this video is to demonstrate cutting a half yard of fabric to make 4 5x7 crosshatch square coasters from Designs by Juju. This is assuming that the fronts and the backs of the coasters are going to be made with the same fabric. That may not always be the case. You may have a contrasting fabric. You're going to make more, and you can mix and match as you choose. But this shows you how to cut the half yard to come up with 4 coasters. As you can see here, I have a grid that's done in color, so you can see where the cuts are going to be made and instructions for how to cut. And we'll follow that closely because I have to tell you this is the second time I've done this. I'm kind of a measure twice, measure once, cut twice girl. I did this earlier and completely messed it up. So I have to do it over again with a new chart. But don't worry, Shannon, it's not genetic, but I am a little concerned that it might be part of the nature versus nurture issues, so you both could be in trouble, but let's hope not. So what I've done is I folded I've folded it so that the fold comes up to the selvages. The fold is against one of the straight lines. We've lined that up. The left edge is along the 0 edge on the cutting mat, and I'm going to put my ruler on the 6-inch line because the first thing we're going to make is a 6-inch cut. And I'm going to line the top edge and the bottom edge of my ruler up on that 6-inch line. And I'm going to cut. And then the next thing we're going to do is make an 8-inch cut. So I'm going to move my ruler over to the 14-inch line on my mat. And this is one of those times where you can trust your mat and not your ruler. And here's why. Usually you want to trust your ruler, but here's why you can do it in this. This is not precise cutting. It's not like you're quilting and you have to have perfect 2.5-inch squares. Remember, we're trimming away a lot of fabric when we get to when the coasters are finished, they come out of the hoop and we trim. We trim away a lot of fabric. So, a little here and a little there isn't the end of the world. So anyway, we're lining this up, top and bottom of the ruler on the 14-inch line. I'm using my 6.5 by 12.5-inch ruler. Going to make this cut. Oops, there, that slipped a little bit. Got to move my hand up. Okay, we've got a little extra. We've got our 6-inch cut. And we've got our 8-inch cut. Now, the instructions say to open this out and put the salvages on the left. I'll move this up. Salvages on the left and the fold on the right. I've lined the bottom cut edge up with one of the straight lines on the mat. I'm going to take a look over here at where this is, where the salvage is, and I'm going to line the salvage up with the 0 line. I'm going to trim the salvage off. I'm going to put my ruler lining the top and the bottom up with the 0 line. I'm going to trim this. And then I'm going to make a 6-inch cut. Remember, we're using a 6-inch width of fabric, a 6-inch cut, and another 6-inch cut. Doubled fabric will give us 4 tops for the coasters, and then an 8-inch cut, which will give us 2 pieces for one back. Remember, those are folded to 4x6. They overlap, so we can turn the coaster. Okay, so we're going to make a 6-inch cut. Here I am lining my ruler up on the 6-inch line, top and bottom. Oh, that's great. Making a cut, going over to 12. Let's go over here. to 12 for another 6-inch cut. And then to 20 for an 8-inch cut. That little piece will be good for a starter and a leader and an ender. So you can see here we have 2 6x6, 2 more 6x6 for the 8 that we need, for the 4 that we need. And here are 2 4x6, 8x6 rather, okay? Now we're going to take our 8-inch cut and we're going to do pretty much the same thing. The selvage is going to go on the left and we're going to line it up with the 0 line on the mat. Going to line the bottom up with one of the straight lines on the mat. Going to trim the selvages off. It gives us a clean edge, but also remember we don't want the selvage in any sewing that we're going to do because it's tightly woven and it doesn't have any of the pattern or the design that we want. Okay, so now let's look at the chart quickly. Remember this is an 8-inch cut, so we're going to cut 6x8, 6x8, 6x8. That's going to give us 6 6x8 pieces, which will be folded into 6x4 when we use the backs. Okay, so we're going to go over to 8. Lining our ruler up on the 8 line. Oops, there, nope. It's an 8-inch cut. Sorry, we're only doing 6. Go back to the 6-inch. Make a cut. We're going to go over to 12. Let's see where 12 is. Right here. And then over to 18. And now we have 2, 4, 6, plus the other 2. So we have 8 pieces for the back. So that's how we cut, assuming again that the fronts and the backs of the coasters are going to be the same. And frankly, I think it looks really nicely. I've done a couple where they were different, but only because I didn't have enough of the top fabric to make the backs. So I'm going to post this chart in Dropbox. And I'm also going to post the link to the Sonoma Road Sewing playlist on YouTube. Hope it helps. Have fun. Love you. Bye.